Hi YouTube! So today I'll be telling you about a hairdresser horror story that I experienced that's also the reason why I don't trust anyone else with processing my hair. Okay, so this happened back in like 2016 and I had gone to this hair salon a few times before and those experiences weren't the best either, but they were not this bad. And at the time of the story I had really long dyed hair. It was probably down to like my hips, so pretty long hair, and I wanted to go ash blonde. And let me just preface this with saying that the hairdresser did not tell me beforehand that it would take several sessions to get to the color that I wanted, which should have been the first red flag, but I was young and naive at the time, so I didn't really know any better, and I was just like, alright, sounds good. And had I known that at the time, things would have gone a lot differently. So first things first, I walk into the salon. I remind the hairstylist of what I was in there for, which I was just getting the red color that was in my hair removed and I wanted it to be blonde. And so he says, okay, he tells me to take a seat in the chair. I take a seat. He asked me if I had ever bleached my own hair before this point, and I said no. The last time my hair was bleached before then was like 8 months before that time, and it was at the same salon. And even then they didn't fully bleach my hair either, so it wasn't that damaged. So then, after hearing that, he proceeds to bleach my hair with 40 volume developer. Now, if you don't know much about hair, then that probably doesn't mean much to you, which at the time it didn't mean much to me because, I was oblivious. But that is one of the strongest types of bleach that you can use on someone's hair. It's typically used for virgin hair that is either very dark brown or black. And he was using it on my already bleached before red hair. And I'm a natural dirty blonde, so he never would have needed to use 40 volume developer on my hair. Ever. Which that honestly should have been the second red flag. But again, I was young and naive, didn't know any better. So this is where we get into the meat of the story. We ain't even get into the meat yet. Aren't you surprised? We got a whole 3-course meal ahead of us. So anyways, he bleaches my hair and then he tells me to go sit under the hair dryers. So I'm sitting there and I'm chatting with my boyfriend at the time. It was actually our 6-month anniversary and I wanted to have this nice blonde hair for our dinner that we were going out to after. And so I'm sitting there with him and then he looks over at the hairstylist, which I guess they didn't have any other clients. I was the only person in there. The hairstylist decides to take a shot with the other hairstylist. A shot of alcohol. While he still had a client and was still in the midst of processing the client's hair. He didn't even time how long he had the bleach in my hair or anything, which that then should have been the third red flag. But again, I'm oblivious. I was only 16 at the time, so what do you expect from a 16-year-old? I didn't know anything about hair at the time. I mean, now I've educated myself, so I know a lot more than I used to, and that's why my hair is still able to be colored today and not fried. Okay, so I've been sitting under this hairdryer for a minute. I don't even know how long. I don't know how much time's passed. And so it comes time for me to get out from under the hairdryer and have the bleach washed out of my hair. Well, while rinsing my hair out in the sink, he then tells me, "Oh, I hope you didn't plan to have long hair after this." Excuse me, sir? I mean, no, I didn't expect to have as long of hair that I did have. I was gonna get it trimmed done as well. But, what was he saying? What do you mean I'm not gonna have long hair after this? I did not sign up for having my hair completely obliterated. So then he gets a comb and starts combing my soaking wet, fried hair. And now I understand he's combing it because it was so fried that it got stuck knotted together. But he just ended up ripping chunks of my hair out instead of taking the knots out of my hair. And so at this point, I didn't even know what my hair looks like. I didn't know what the color looked like, any of that. So after a couple minutes of him trying to rinse my hair and combing my fried hair, he tells me to go sit back in the stylist chair. So that's where I go. And then I finally get to see myself in the mirror. Now, not only was my hair fried and had chunks of uneven layers everywhere, because he decided to just comb chunks out of my hair. It also was colored unevenly. Yeah, it still had some red splotchy spots all over, which means that he didn't even evenly apply the bleach on my hair to begin with. Like, you're a hairstylist. You get paid to do this. This is your career. And you don't even know how to thoroughly put bleach into someone's hair? That seems very problematic to me. So then, after, looking at myself in the mirror and sitting in the chair, he decides to get a blow dryer out and try to blow dry my soaking wet hair, which, by the way, it was still soaking wet. Even when he tried to towel dry it, because it was so fried, it was just trying to hold on to any and all moisture that it could. So he starts blow drying my hair, and then he takes a paddle brush, and then again starts ripping chunks out of my hair. And then he says, "I'm sorry, honey, but it's all gonna come out on its own anyway." Like adding honey to the sentence was gonna make me feel any better about the entire situation. What the fuck? And I wasn't even crying or anything. I was just completely in shock that this was even happening to me, because that is not what I signed up for at all. So now at this point, I obviously couldn't go to the ash blonde color that I wanted, so he asked me what color I would like to put on my hair instead, which would not be any range of blonde, because I still had splotchy red spots all over my hair from his shitty bleaching job. So instead of leaving the salon with long ash blonde hair like I thought was going to happen at the beginning of this process, I ended up having to get my hair chopped to about here. And this man also gave me bangs that I did not ask for. So I had to deal with growing out bangs afterward as well. And so the color that I chose for my hair was dark brown, because I felt like there was no other option. I didn't want to do black because I still wanted a chance to possibly be able to dye my hair fun colors again in the future. So he dyes my hair dark brown, and honestly, I don't know what hair dye they had at this salon, but even with the dark brown hair dye on my hair, you could still see the red splotches and streaks all throughout my hair. So then comes the time to pay. And you may be asking yourself, like, what do you mean pay? He literally completely destroyed your hair. Like, why'd you pay? Again, young and naive. So he asked me how much money I had brought with me, and it was over $100, because, usually when you get hair bleached, it's at least $100, which is ridiculous. But that's besides the point. He then has the audacity to ask me to give him $80, instead of not charging me at all for frying my hair and dyeing it dark brown, which was the complete opposite. Complete opposite. We were over here at the beginning. How the fuck did we end up all the way over here? Excuse me? So he charges me $80, and that is still fucked up to me, because it wasn't even my money, it was my mom's money. I didn't even have my own money. I was 16 years old. Like, what was I doing? I don't know. I didn't have a job, nothing. And I don't even know if my mom ever tried to get her money back after that, but safe to say we never went back there ever again. But at least I still got to go to Applebee's for dinner afterwards and a nice little date with my boyfriend. So he helped to make things a little better. He told me I still look good even though my hair was fried, and I'm so thankful for that, because I was really hurting on the inside after having my hair destroyed. Because my hair at the time really was like my personality. It was the only way I was really allowed to express myself at the time. And so having this happen to me was like detrimental to my self-esteem. So yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up this story. I mean, apparently that hairstylist isn't even a hairstylist anymore, so that's good. Can't destroy anyone else's hair. So yeah, that is the story of how I got my hair completely destroyed by a hairstylist, and why I won't let anyone else process my hair ever again. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you learned a lesson from this story and will choose not to be as naive as I was at the time. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Alright, I love you so much. Bye! Please be sure to check out all my socials as well.